Today we're diving into a story that simply breaks my heart. A cyclist riding in Florida, a hit-and-run accident that resulted in death. Warning, this episode contains some serious subjects. At approximately 8:20 p.m. in November, a young 19-year-old cyclist was heading east on Highway 674 in Florida. It was a quiet evening, the kind of ride that thousands of Americans would take every day, but this ride would end in tragedy. A red Dodge Charger traveling in the same direction struck the young cyclist from behind. Leaving only the scattered debris of their vehicle behind, they fled the scene. Rather than stopping to assist, they left the young cyclist there fighting for his life. Unfortunately, when being rushed to hospital, the cyclist didn't survive his injuries. Imagine, just stop for a second, 19-year-old cyclist, a brother, a son, a friend, has lost their life, and there's somebody out there that hasn't stopped to assist, somebody out there that knows what happened. Florida Highway Patrol are still searching for the red Dodge Charger. Its models 2011 to 2014, has silver rims, and parts of the front of the vehicle were left at the scene as silent witnesses to the tragedy. But what's more tragic than this is that 1.2 million people die on the roads every year, and 20% of those are vulnerable road users, or VRUs, pedestrians, cyclists, people who are less protected in a collision. So the question is, could Hawkeye have helped in this situation? Well, let's break this down. Hawkeye and its AI-powered cameras can detect up to 220 meters away. That's 240 yards. Now, on some of the faster highways here in the United States, traffic can go as high as 80 miles an hour, and cyclists can ride as low as 10 miles an hour. So if you calculate that out, that's about 7 seconds to respond to the situation. So that's 7 seconds for the cyclist to turn away. It's 7 seconds for the driver to respond and notice the cyclist. It's 7 seconds to react, and it's 7 seconds to save a life. So this is where it gets really interesting, because Hawkeye is not just an AI-powered camera. It has a very wide field of view, up to 220 degrees, so blind spots are also protected, and it can classify threats. So if it's a car or a truck or a motorcycle, it'll distinguish the difference. And this is really helpful because I think the rider really wants to know the level of threat coming up behind them. So for example, a truck coming up at very high speed might be more of a threat than a cyclist or a pedestrian approaching from behind, and this differentiates Hawkeye from some of the competition. It also underpins the level of the threat. So in the case of our rider here in Florida, the high speed and the trajectory of the car would have made the warning much more obvious. There's a green and yellow-red warning system, green for low levels of threat, red for high levels of threat, and yellow for intermediate. And perhaps in this case, it was a red level of threat and the rider would have been aware of it, not only with the colors, with the trajectory and the situational awareness, but also with the audio tones, which are generated by the AI system. Now, further to this, there's additional features in Hawkeye which would really help in this situation too. After the event, Hawkeye can alert authorities or the care circle or friends to an incident if there's a fall or if the rider has an accident. In this case, it would have done so. And video records everything that's happening behind the rider continuously, so that would be more evident exactly what happened, and even have better footage and make it easier to locate the driver of the Dodge Charger. Technology like Hawkeye does offer some hope to make riding safer. It offers the AI cameras for prevention of accidents, and that's most important, but also accountability for when things do go wrong and incident detection so that people can respond quickly if there's an incident. But just coming back a little bit, it's really about making cycling safer. And can technology, not just Hawkeye but others, really make cycling safer? I believe it can. Look, if you know anything about this incident involving the red Dodge Charger in Florida in November, then please contact the Florida Highway Patrol. And to all cyclists, stay safe out there. Look, technology is not going to replace riding with a friend, but it can be like a second pair of eyes, especially those eyes pointing behind you. And we believe that this technology and others can help make cycling safer for everyone. Thank you.